Jessica Sporn of Jessica Sporn Designs here. I want to show you how I stenciled on tissue paper and used that as an overlay to embellish a design I made. So first I created my substrate using canvas and a bunch of different collage pieces I had lying around, using matte medium to glue them all down. Then I used my skinny brush and some black fluid acrylics to sketch in an angel figure. I'm being very loose in my sketching because anything can be erased or gone over. No big deal, no need to be too precious or careful about it. One of my favorite ways to get texture with paint is to loosely mix two colors and spread them with a piece of plastic covered cardboard. So you can use paint chips, or here I'm using, I think this was one of those pieces of cardboard that come in the back of stamps. This technique, which I learned from Cindy Wunsch, is a little more forgiving than using a credit card, which is stiffer. So here I'm using another piece to spread white paint, which has a little yellow ochre in it, for the wings. And by spreading it this way, you still see a lot of the collage underneath. Rather than paint the individual feathers on the wings, I'm using the yellow ochre paint and just laying it down with the edge of this cardboard to give it some texture. I want the heart to be a little smoother and have a different texture than the dress and the wings, so I'm painting that in with a brush. So I mixed up a skin tone and am also painting that in with the brush again to have a different kind of texture than the dress and the wings have. And here I'm just using my skinny little brush for the face, and this is a face that I don't erase and repaint a bazillion times. I'm just going to use my brush to fill in her hair, and then I'll use my brush and also go back to the paint chip for the halo and the background. So as I'm finishing off the background, I'm feeling like something is missing. And I realized that her dress and the background needs some more texture. But I know that it would be a little too hard to stencil directly on top of the painting just because of all the different elements there. So I decided to stencil on white tissue paper because I know that if I lay that over what I've painted, the white will disappear and the gold stenciling will remain. So I'm using the Medieval Leaves stencil from Stencil Girl and also the Priestly Blessing stencil. I want the Hebrew letters to be in the background to just add a little bit more of a mystical element, and the medieval leaves motif to embellish her dress. So I'm not thinking about it too much. I'm just stenciling on the tissue paper. Now I tear off a piece and I lay it over her dress. I can see through it, so I'm able to use water with my brush to paint the outline of the dress and then just tear away the tissue paper so that it fits exactly where I want it to go. And you see as I glue it down with matte medium, the tissue paper just fades away, and what you see is the gold where I stenciled. So you can see now that it's dry how the Hebrew letters in the background and the medieval leaves motif on her dress just blend right in as if I'd stenciled directly over the canvas. Using the tissue paper, I can even get into these tiny little areas where I want to add a little of that stenciled pattern. I'm using the Perfect Pearls pen to get some embellishment on her halo. And then I added some text and painted around the edges of the canvas, and she's done. At times, our light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another. Be grateful for those who have lit the flame within you. I hope you'll visit me at jessicasporn.blogspot.com.